If you finally want to stop caring what other people think in 2026, this is a live stream that's going to give you the inner authority to finally get some backbone. My name is Emily, and on this channel, I give you the scientific strategy to become the best version of yourself and engineer your dreams. And this is my psychological glow up guide to help you feel confident and empowered in the new year. Welcome, everyone! I'm so excited we have my holiday mug today while we talk about how to build your inner authority and actually get some self esteem. Now, the number one thing you have to do if you want to feel more empowered and you want to feel like your voice matters than other people is you have to build inner authority. That means that your opinion means more than anyone else in the peanut gallery. You don't have to go ask your parents, you don't have to go ask your friends. You just know what you want and you choose to act on that. And I know if you're younger, it's harder to kind of have the internal confidence, but that internal confidence is something that you can grow. It's not something you just have or don't have. So, this is all the things I have learned in my 30 years of life that have helped me feel confident on the inside so that I can build my dream life on the outside. Number one, do hard things. If you do not trust yourself to do what is required to build your dream life, you will never build inner authority. And the act of building inner authority is actually the same as building self respect. So if you tell yourself you're going to go to the gym, if you tell yourself you're going to eat healthy food, if you tell yourself that you're going to start posting online, and then you actually do those things, you show up for yourself. You say, I am worthy. I take myself seriously. My actions and my words matter. That slowly over time builds confidence and inner authority. And I know if you're feeling a little wishy-washy now, that can be hard, but I promise you, over time, it'll grow and you'll slowly start to feel more confident. This is one of my favorite little products for acne. I have been breaking out like a pubescent teenager, but it's because I'm drinking too much coffee and I'm not sleeping well. I'm getting back on my sleep hygiene, so soon I will have glowing goddess skin again. And I mean, it's always glowy, just sometimes it's glowy with pimples. Okay, the next thing that I would look at if you don't feel like you have that self confidence yet is to examine your core beliefs. Core beliefs are the little narrative that run our brain in the background, and they are what we're acting on, whether or not we're realizing that subconscious thought. So get down with your journal and say, what is the inner thought that's causing resistance in me that's keeping me from trusting myself and forcing me to look at other people for their authority? I know that you're worthy of trust. However, you may not feel that trust in yourself. And there's something inside you that has happened to have you lose that inner trust and inner authority. And until you face it head on, you're going to keep feeling inconfident in yourself and keep needing to look to others for support. I did this a lot in my dating life, especially when I felt like I couldn't trust myself after a breakup. So I was cheated on when I was younger after dating someone for a really long time, and it really crushed me at the time. And it made me feel like such an idiot because I thought that I should have known that he was a cheater. I should have known that he was taking advantage of me. I should have known that he was cruel and a bad person. But the reality is that I was choosing to look at the best version of someone instead of the worst. So it's not that I shouldn't have trusted myself. I was actually a very trusting person in that I was choosing the best of someone to look at. But it took me years to trust myself again after that happened. And I was looking to my friends and my family to kind of validate who I was dating instead of looking inward and saying, is this the right person for me? Hi, yes, I am back for Christmas. Merry Festivus, everyone. I'm getting ready to go to my parents' house for Christmas Eve. I have my holiday mug here with peppermint tea today, in case you're curious. And running a little late. So naturally, I felt the right decision was to get ready with you because I'm always so fast when I get ready on live stream. But I had things to say, so it was a yap session time. Hi. No, so I live in the US. We don't have Tim Hortons here. I think Tim Hortons it's a Canadian thing, right? So this is just a holiday mug that I picked up from Marshall's. They sell them all the time. You can get like a stack of fun to go mugs, and I always get them, and I'm cruel to the environment. Sorry. I think they're cute. Yay, welcome from Kenya. Oh, I have so much fun live streaming with everyone. Today's topic is really important to me because I struggled with it so much personally. The act of building self trust has made me feel so empowered, and I want to be able to give you the tips and tools that would have helped me when I was younger. And I think when I was little, I was very confident and very empowered because my parents always told me that I could be whatever I wanted to be. I could was smart enough to do the hard things, but painful experiences in my life made me not trust myself. So after I was cheated on, after I had like a big job loss, after I felt like I was failing in my career, I lost confidence in myself and I had to rebuild that from the inside out. I had to train myself to believe new stories, to believe new upgraded core beliefs so that I could finally trust myself again and build inner authority. Thank you so much. I have so much fun doing live streams with everyone. I find that they're more personal, if that makes sense. So I do full videos on YouTube that are like edited, but this is my eye cream. But I also enjoy this because I think you guys get a better understanding of my point of views, my perspective, and I can answer your questions live as we chat. Yes, so I went to engineering school. I went to study civil engineering, and I worked as an engineer for a decade, designing the blueprints that build our cities. So if you ever need someone to blame for like traffic or construction, it is me. But I did that for about a decade, and I realized there were skills and desires in me that engineering just couldn't fulfill. So last year, I was actually horribly depressed because I was trapped in a job that felt like jail. And I couldn't figure out a way out. I had to take time off, really do a lot of soul searching until I realized something in a more sales, personal, like interpersonal job would be a better fit for me. So I love this transformation story, and I think it is so helpful for everyone to hear because in the span of a year, I moved out of an apartment that was terrible. I used to live in an apartment with 3 other roommates. Now I live in my dream apartment. I got a job with double my original income, and I'm actually happy. I was on tons of antidepressants last year, and it took so much inner work, pain, and suffering to walk myself out of that pain. And on this channel, I give you all the tools that I use to design my dream life because manifestation, becoming the best version of yourself, is not magic. It's not secret science. It's not luck. It is scientific strategy. And if you have a dream in your heart, there are things we can do to engineer that to be more likely and walk towards that future. Hi. Yeah, I know. Actually, I get cream in my eye a lot when I do that because I just put it on. But I mean, I'm not very what's it called? Gentle with the eye cream. So I worked in highway design for a while. So I was doing a lot of the staging plans for traffic control. So if ever you see cones on the road or like barriers, I was designing those. So I was the person who was creating traffic problems so that we could make them better in the future. So now I work in sales. I do sales for construction product that contractors use. So I still work in construction, I still work in engineering, but instead of doing the actual engineering, I'm like working with engineers to get better products on site. Oh, Miami, I don't know. So actually, I really enjoy Miami, especially in the winter because it is so frigid where I live. I hate the cold so much. I used to love it. Actually, I still love it when there's snow. But if there isn't snow, my brain's like, what's the point? I'm really just here for the pretty festive vibes. But right now, I'm looking at my window. PS, like, there's no fancy lighting. You're just at my window. If you want to make content, just be in front of the window. It is gloomy and gray, and it was raining this morning, and there's no snow, and it's Christmas Eve, and it just feels so unfestive. So I would rather just be here for the snow and then be somewhere warm the rest of the time. I have visited Canada. I have been to Montreal and Ottawa. My brother and I actually went to Montreal together a few years ago, and it was such a fun, like, brother-sister bonding event. Oh, Okay, getting back to the topic at hand. So if you want to build inner authority, like I said previously, you have to understand the core beliefs, the stories your brain is telling you about why you can't trust yourself. You have to rewrite those stories to be something more empowering. So, for example, after I got cheated on, I thought that I was stupid. I thought that I was taken advantage of and that like I should have known that this person was cruel and not good for me. But instead of telling myself that very unempowering story, I rewrote that to say, no, actually, I choose to see the best in people. And that perspective helps me make better connections with everyone. So I'm on YouTube to help people build their dream life. I teach people the scientific strategy to become the best version of themselves and engineer their dreams. So I broadly talk about manifestation content, but really we're here for the psychological and mindset glow up. In case you didn't know, my mom owns a psychology company. So everything I share with you about inner work, psychology, and mindset hacks is through the lens of proven psychological principles because I want to give you guys things that actually work. If you're on this manifestation channel expecting crystals and woo woo magic, you will not get it. This is not the place for you. I do not do spiritual bypassing. I do proven systems that help you walk closer to your dream life. Hi. Yeah, so I'm a top 7% creator last time that I checked. I have about 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm trying to grow my Instagram. Does anyone know how to grow an Instagram account? Because I'm telling you, I feel like it's black magic. I maybe just don't like short form content because I make a 7-second reel and I'm like, well, that was not very helpful. I'm used to yapping on the internet for like hours at a time. Like my live streams can like go on and on and on. But people seem to enjoy the fact that I can give valuable content without over editing my stuff. And frankly, I think it's better for everyone, me, you. So I enjoy the live stream. I enjoy long form videos. I'm just maybe not enjoying Instagram as much. But here's the thing, David. Like if I pay for followers on Instagram, they're not really a part of the community. Like I value my community on YouTube so much because you guys all want to be here and are getting value out of the content. If I just buy followers, it's not a community, it's just like random people or bots. What I enjoy about creating content online is really building a community of like-minded people who help each other. Okay, it's makeup time. I'm not a skincare channel, but like it's fun. I'm getting ready. Let's get with it. I got this really cute bag at Marshall's. How fun. Okay. The other thing we have to talk about while we're getting on about inner authority and trusting yourself is friends. Friends are not always who you think they are. If people around you do not like the good news you share with them, they're not really your friends. If you want to trust yourself more, yes, take your own opinion into account, but there will always be people around you who have their opinions and whatever. But if those people don't actually have your best interest at heart, it's time to let them go. 'Tis the season to break up with bad friends. And this was really hard for me when I was younger. I thought that everyone who like wanted to hang out with me was obviously my best friend. Ha ha ha, jokes on me. But I was lonely and I wanted to have more friends around me. So I was happy to have kind of like bodies filling the space. But it didn't take until I was deeply depressed to realize that I don't want friends who are just around for a good time. I want friends who can support me even when I feel down. So when I was at my worst, I actually lost a lot of friends, a lot of people who didn't really care about me, who just cared about the fun, fluffy energy I could bring. And I was so sad and heartbroken about that at the time. But as I moved on, I realized, no, these were not a good fit for my life. And it made me trust myself more when I realized that people were showing up for me even when I was at my worst. It was like instant affirmation from the universe saying, oh, even the sad, dark parts of myself are worthy of love. And that gave me even more affirmation in myself. Yeah, it's not good at all if your friends are bad, but it's hard to see David, to be honest, because a lot of people will put on a good face. They'll show up for you most of the time, and when you actually need them, they won't be there. And I think especially women have this issue because there's a lot of men who like just want to be in your energy because they think you're fun or you give them access or you kind of like boost their ego. And there's men who like want something sexual from you. There's very few men who would want a genuine relationship with you. And women act a similar way. Like if you're a beautiful woman, a lot of the times other women want you as like a social stepping stone instead of to actually be in your energy and have a relationship with you, which is heartbreaking, but I mean, people will be people. We just have to learn how to navigate them better. Okay. I have tragic news also. My favorite primer is out. So I have to try this new one. Everyone, please send letters to Armani Beauty because I have been using this for years and they just discontinued it on me. And I'm heartbroken and I can't find it anywhere. It's like selling for a lot on eBay. I'm not paying extra for a makeup primer, but I'm trying this one. If you have any recommendations, please let me know. Feeling a little desperate right now because I'm a creature of comfort and I basically use the same makeup products all the time. So when one thing is discontinued, my entire life is up in shambles. I mean, I joke, just for funsies. But seriously, if you have a new makeup primer, please let me know. Tink. Also, Merry Christmas. I hope everyone's having a wonderful holiday season. I made some white chocolate macadamia nut cookies last night, and my whole apartment smelled great. Hi, Blue. Welcome to the live stream. I hope you enjoy the content. I think some people are so sweet on live stream, and the energy has been really good recently. A few days ago, there were some like mean people, but that's okay. We ignore and block them. Another thing I really would recommend to my younger self, if you're struggling to trust yourself and struggling to build that inner authority, is to give yourself a license to be mean. You do not have to be nice to everyone. You just have to be nice to the people who you care about, who care about you, and you want in your life. So if you need my permission to use the block button for mean people, here you go. You have it. It's my favorite button to use on the internet. I mean, honestly, I don't have to use it that much for the amount of people who watch me out. But if, someone in your life needs a bigger boundary, there you go. Block them, move on with your glorious life. I'm breaking out a lot recently. Oh, so far, I've been liking the primer. It's like not overly slippy. All right, the next thing we have to talk about when building an authority are actual boundaries. Boundaries are not rules you dictate to other people. You don't say, treat me better, you should give me princess treatment, don't you dare call me at 11 p.m. at night, if you actually have boundaries. If you actually have boundaries, those things don't happen in your life. You're so like corally set in your embodiment that just doesn't show up. You're only available for the treatment you think you deserve. So, for example, I am like quite embodied in the fact that men in my life only show up in respectful ways. And that's the only way they show up. If ever they're not being respectful, I look at them like, what's wrong with it? It's broken, it's confusing. And then I leave it alone. It's not my problem to solve. I don't have to engage with the problem. I don't have to look at the problem and say, oh, I need to fix you. I need to be the one to like teach you to learn how to act right. No. Toxic people have a habit of messing up their own life. You do not have to be the one to punish you. I promise you, the universe, God, and karma, they have a much more creative punishment than you could ever come up with. So, we're going to learn what an energetic boundary is. An energetic boundary is a decision you make in yourself as to what you're available for. And that is the most effective boundary type you can set. I think dating to marry is the safest way for everyone emotionally. I know a lot of people, especially in the US, do the casual dating thing, but I think it just emotionally hurts everybody. I think men can probably get on with that for longer than women can, but there is scientifically something in women's brain that makes you emotionally attached to people once you've had some kind of relations with them. And you can't get across that biology thing. So a lot of women feel really like used and sad by hookup culture. Hi, welcome to the live stream. So I'm from the US. I live in the New England, and on this channel, I give you the scientific strategy to become the best version of yourself and build your dream life. And I like to yap while we do my makeup because I think it's more fun. And it's Christmas Eve. Merry Festivus, everyone. Yeah, this is my favorite foundation. This is the Dior Forever Glow. Everyone always tells me this is the wrong color during the winter time though, but I'm not buying a new one right now, so y'all can deal with the fact that I'm slightly orange. Also, I don't think they have a lighter color. Like, I'm so pale, I just walk into Sephora and I buy the lightest foundation. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk to everyone about while we're getting on about inner authority is your perspective. So, the fastest way to change the world around you is to change your identity. If you think of yourself as someone who cannot trust yourself, you will not be able to trust yourself. That's your perspective. We have to change that inner story in order to feel confident and empowered. And you can fake it till you make it a little bit, but you really got to do some deep inner work before it feels like embodied in yourself. If you feel like a walking goddess, that is how the world will respond if you believe that in your embodiment. But sometimes you have to wear a crown on the internet if you don't quite feel like that. I think you can get maybe 80% of the way there through the fake it till you make it situation, but you still got to tackle those beliefs and those stories that are telling you you're untrustworthy before you can really show up as the most empowered version of yourself. I like to contour my forehead because she looks a little big sometimes. Nice. And then my nose contour, obviously. Another thing I really always like to hammer on about people if they're struggling with inner authority is to have some faith. So, more than anything else, what has helped me pull myself out of my depression and also feel more confident is my relationship with God. Now, I didn't grow up in a very religious household, although I did go to Catholic school. We weren't like practicing Catholics, and my mom, especially, is like more of a spiritual person than she is a traditional religious person. And I was resistant to the whole aspect of religion because, frankly, I hate being told what to do. Like, I'm very resistant to that. I had to come to faith from a form of curiosity and need before I was really receptive to it. So I needed God's love, for lack of sounding like earthy crunchy. I needed to feel loved. I needed to feel supported. I needed someone there who loved all of the parts of me, even the parts that I hated myself, and knew that I was enough just as I was. That's what trusting in faith gave me. It gave me this inherent confidence that I was enough, that I didn't have to perform for other people. And if you want to stop caring about what other people think, you have to stop manipulating the people around you. You have to stop people pleasing, thinking that that will get their love. Am I into astrology? So I find astrology interesting. I do not really know how like scientific it is. So I don't really talk about it much on this channel, but I find it fun. I am a Cancer. I don't know what my moon sign is, but I do find it fun and interesting. And sometimes I read my horoscope just for funsies. But again, I mean, like, I don't make drastic life decisions on this. Okay, so building a relationship with God gave me two things. It gave me someone else to look to instead of friends and family and people who don't have any real authority when I felt like I needed guidance. So instead of asking the peanut gallery in my life what I should do, I could say, "Oh, God, please give me a sign and tell me how I should move forward. Please show me the right way to show up in this situation." And then it kind of unfolds in the best way because I'm available to the highest possible authority there is. And when I was having trouble, oh, I have something on my face. Okay. And when I was having trouble sleeping at night because I was worried, I could say, all of these problems that are making me overthink are not mine. They're yours, God. Please deal with them in the best possible way. I will focus on what I have control to focus on. And I can't believe I forgot to talk about that. But if you're really struggling to take yourself seriously, you have to start focusing on what you have control over instead of everyone else's opinion. Newsflash, you have no control over what other people think about you. It is none of your business what someone else's opinion is. The only thing you have control over is yourself, and specifically your actions. You can, to some degree, control your thoughts and emotions when you kind of learn deeper psychology tricks on how to do that. But the easiest thing to focus on is, how can I control how I act and show up that the best possible reality is more likely in my life? If you're people pleasing other people to control their opinion and how they act around you, everyone will hate it. Everyone sniffs that out and thinks it's manipulation, and that's why people pleasers repel people even though they're trying to actually be loved. The faster way to get loved is actually to say, "Here I am, I love myself, take me or leave me," instead of wasting your mental life force energy trying to get someone else to like who you are when you don't even like yourself. Ooh, I think the foundation's looking good, guys. I probably spend the most amount of time actually doing my base makeup, and then I do my eyes. My eyes are my favorite thing about myself. Look at how cute. Okay, cute. All right, so we're gonna get to some concealer because, fun facts, I'm looking a little gaunt. I need to sleep more. I'm trying to get back on the beauty sleep, but it's a work in progress. Thank you. I really like the green on camera too. One of the things I learned creating content are like colors that look best on me, which was so interesting. I always knew that I was my light. Okay. I always knew that I was a cool winter, but when I started making content, I realized, oh, that shade of green looks really good. Oh, that shade of blue looks really good. Instead of like trying to wear neon colors, like I used to wear neon colors when I was younger. Not for me, guys. This girl's too pale for that. Guess you have a lot of money knowing your colors also. Okay. And then a little bit here. I always put some here. This is the triangle of life. I don't know, that's what some beauty influencer told me. Just kidding. But I still do it. Like, do we think it makes a difference? I don't know. Y'all can tell me afterwards. Okay. You like the white? I think the white's great too because it makes it easier to make content when your background's light. So if you want to know your color season, there's a ton of actual like little quizzes you can take online. If you just Google like find my color season fashion quiz, they'll come up. And I think especially if you do your makeup, this is helpful because you'll learn that certain tones of colors look better. So if you're a winter like I am, cooler tone makeup looks better. And if you're a summer, warmer tone makeup looks better. Let me finish this and I'll give you an example with my blushes. But I was on the biggest hunt for a blush because, again, Tarte, why do you keep discontinuing stuff? My favorite kind of blush was discontinued. So I had to go on a goose hunt to try to find a new blush because when I like a product, I'm like emotionally invested. We're married. Like, you're not going anywhere. I might as well be using you for the next decade of my life. So I found the perfect blush ages ago. It was called Party from Tarte, and they had the gall to just continue it. How rude. So I found two. There was one from like Laura Mercier that I kind of liked, but it's the wrong color. It's like too warm and it's too bright. So on my skin, when you're a cool winter, it looks bad. And I kept telling the lady at Sephora this, and she's like, not getting it, but that's okay. And I had to go back and get a different one. I ended up getting a slightly more expensive blush. Shocker, shocker. I have expensive taste. But this is the one I ended up getting from Hourglass, and I'm obsessed. It looks really like natural and diffused. So you'll see this in a second when I put it on. But I love that. I was worried because it looks a little sparkly, but it doesn't actually look sparkly on. It's just really natural. The one I got earlier, let me see if I can find that. Here she is. So this is the one I got earlier that, I mean, in the pan, I was excited, but when you just swatch it on your hand, you're like, oh my god, that's aggressive. And I'm telling you, I look like a clown with this blush. Not that clowns can't be, cute, but I don't like looking like a clown like my makeup. I like looking and having you wonder like if I'm actually wearing makeup, which I think is a sign of you know how to do good makeup. If you can't really tell you're wearing it, that's a sign that you've done a good job. If you're looking like clown patrol, no, 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 no. Always the makeup comes off of my nose. Maybe that's a sign of a bad primer. Again, let me know, please, if you know good primers. All right, now I've got to do some powder. And then I've like really got to get going because I am so behind. I told my mom that I would be at her house for Christmas at 1ish. It's 1:30 now and she lives a few hours away. So she I let her know I'd be late. Thank you, David. That's what I'm going for. So this is what I want my skin to look like, right? Just kind of like filtered and kind of blurred out. That's really what I'm going for whenever I do my makeup. I want to cover my acne scars because believe it or not, I still have acne at the age of 30. It's a work in progress. And I think when I'm having too much coffee, I break out. When I'm having too much sugar, I break out. So I got to get back on my beauty sleeve and my healthy habits. I found my green juice really makes a big difference. So if you're struggling with acne, I would highly recommend that you start like having green juice daily because it really, really helps me. And if I'm getting those like inflammatory breakouts, it's a good way to kind of turn the tide around. All right, let's powder up. In other really exciting news, I'm going to be doing a manifestation party coming up. My friends have loved this. So I'm going to go to a manifestation party on Friday. And then this weekend, I'm going to be doing a vision board exercise with everyone. So if you want to do your vision board with me, definitely come live this weekend. I'll be live Saturday and Sunday around lunchtime and we can do our vision boards together and kind of get ready for the new year. I think it'll be really fun. You know, Francesca and I were on live with our vision boards earlier, but I didn't finish mine. I needed some magazines, so I thought it was a good opportunity to, finish those live with you. I always use this little puffy dude just under my eyes because it helps it like sink into my skin. What's next? There's this. There we go. And then I just kind of use the brush for everything else. Yeah, so my parents have a Christmas party tonight and they have another Christmas party tomorrow. My mother is very busy this time of year because they host Christmas and New Year's. I'm very lucky though because I don't have to go to different places. I only have to go to my parents' house and like everyone comes to us. So this is a big win for me. We have some very fun, exciting family things this year, though. My brother just engaged, they got a new house, so a lot to celebrate for sure. And there's always a lot to celebrate, but this year specifically, there's a lot. I'll have to go blow dry my hair after this. I always try to let my hair dry like 80% of the way there, and then after the fact, I blow dry it because it takes too long otherwise. All right, so we're going to blush. This is my favorite blush at the moment, the Hourglass one. This is the one in Mood Exposure is the name. And I just use the Real Techniques brushes for pretty much everything. I think they're so affordable and like you really don't need expensive makeup brushes. I've had them for years and it lasts forever. See how like nice and diffused that looks? I think it looks really natural, which is obviously what I'm going for. But it just gives me a little more cheek and a little more lifted because as I've aged, I have lost volume in my mid face. So I just got like a little extra, little extra help from the blush. Do I look even? Yeah, I think so. Maybe a little more over here. Yeah, I just love this color so much. Wow. Thank you. I really do love the Armani products. So if they want to sponsor me, that would be cool. I always also take the blush up here because I think it helps the makeup look more natural, which again is what we're going for, like a natural diffused. Like, is she wearing makeup? Is she not? We don't know. I think that looks good. I say as I put more blush on. All right, now we'll do some highlighter. And I think that always kind of brings the look together. I will do very minimal eye makeup today just because the baby is tired. I am the baby and I am late. So where's my favorite highlighter that I've been using? This is fun. This is the Diamond Bomb from Rihanna's line, but this is a very intense highlighter. This is not for no makeup days. This is the one that I use for no makeup days. This is the Charlotte Tilbury one. Half of my products are probably Charlotte Tilbury because look at the packaging. So pretty, right? So there we go. There's after you just see a little bit sparkle, sparkle. And then I put it here, right on the center of my nose because I want my nose to look kind of non-existent. And that's how you highlight it. Yeah, David, I'm not saving money on my makeup routine, let's be honest. If a brand makes pretty packaging, like they can pretty much get me to buy it. Like who's ever in that marketing department, you've done a good job. So if you make pretty packaging, I'm gonna be here. Oh, this really leaves a lot to be desired. This is like the ugliest packaging I've ever seen, but that product works so well, I can't help it. All right, let's get my eye makeup on because I've been yip-yapping a lot today. This little product also does way more than you expect. This isn't the eyebrow mascara, I like to call it. This is from Benefit, and I just put this on my eyebrows to kind of get them all in place and get some of the powder off. I did get a brow lamination. Do we like it? I don't know. I feel like it's making my eyebrows look a little crazy. I don't know. It feels aggressive. They're like aggressively pushed up. But I mean, it takes a little while for it to go away, so I will reevaluate later. You would be rich selling makeup products to me because I'd buy them. You put them in pretty packaging and I'd give you money. That's how that would work. I swear the makeup brands know this though, because every woman I know is like buying products because they look pretty on her vanity. Like, do they do the job? We don't know, but they looked cute coming out of our handbag. Okay. This is my favorite eyeshadow palette. I'm probably about ready to get a new one. The highlight color is almost gone. But my favorite base color is actually this. For the right price of $10 from CVS, you can get my favorite eye shade. I should probably link my products below. I never do that. I'm a bad influencer. Sorry. And what I do is I always do a little bit of the primer to kind of loosen up the product, and then I can go in and get it on my eyeballs. And when I'm doing kind of just like a natural look, this and maybe 2 other eye products are the only thing that I'm gonna use. And I don't use mascara when I'm doing natural makeup because it'll make my eyes look too big. My eyes will look like cute doll eyes, which is great if you're going out, but, like, if I'm just going, like, about my day or to a family thing, I do keep it a little more quiet. And I have trouble getting my eye makeup off. So a lot of the times I wake up looking like a panda if I've worn eye makeup. I mean, not just eye makeup, I mean specifically mascara. Like it doesn't come off. So I just keep it easy and then it's easy to take off at night. Okay. See, it's like subtle, but it's there. I like it. So let's dun, 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 dun. Get to blendy blendy. Another blendy shade. Blendy blendy. Another fun trick you can do if you don't have like a good crease color that you like, you can actually use your blush color in your crease. And I think it really ties the makeup together a lot. And you don't really notice it's there. This palette has a pretty similar shade to my blush shade in it. So I'm going to use the palette color. But if you don't, that's fine. No, so to get makeup off, I have a separate makeup remover. I really like the is it the makeup eraser one? The Clean It Zero, I really like. That's a makeup cleanser. And then there's another one from this Korean brand that I really liked. But my system, I use an oil-based cleanser and then I use a normal cleanser, and that will get like 99% of it off. If you're still struggling, then definitely use like a toner pad and that'll get the rest of the stuff off. But you can't just like take a shower and expect the makeup to come off. She's like glued on your face, which is what we want, like, because we want our makeup to last all day long, right? But the side effect is that sometimes it's a little tough to get it off. But I also like being able to swim with my makeup, so you gotta pick your battles. See how nicely that ties it in? It's like the color kind of matches my cheek color. Okay, and I'm just gonna do one more shade on my eyes. I'm gonna do a highlight shade because that's really good for like lifting the eye. In case you didn't know, I'm 30, so we're all about lifting and pumping and upward motions in the makeup routine. And I use this shade or my highlight. Like you can also use a normal highlighter color to do this, but I pop it right in the corner of my eye to open my eye up a little bit, and then I put it right underneath my eyebrow, and this kind of lifts the eye like this. Right there. Right there. Okay. And that's kind of the whole look. This is my kind of everyday makeup look. And then I set it with 2 products. I set it with this, which makes everything look more diffused and like glowing, kind of melt into your skin. Oh, thank you, David. Okay, and then after I've done that, I do some face spray. And David, this is one of the reasons it doesn't come off. This will not make your makeup move at all. Like if you want to go swimming afterwards, you can go swimming in this and your makeup will still be on. How glorious. Whew. If you ever watch like the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, they use this a lot for their makeup and also literal face spray. So whatever works. All right, so let's do a little bit of some lip color because I'm looking like I have foundation lips, which I do. I'm a woman of precision with this. Hi, welcome to the live stream. Today we talked about how to stop caring what other people think, so definitely check out the early part of the live stream if you want to hear that. Thank you all for hanging out with me. I have to go off to my Christmas party. Everyone have a wonderful Festivus. Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, all the things. Bye!